What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge up. You guys can probably already tell it's going down by the title. It seems as if that Trump derangement syndrome that is taking over the body of Fox News host Jessica Tarlov is going to tiptoe, dance her way right off the network. Fox News is the 5. This newest segment, decided to get into it, see exactly how Trump derangement syndrome has fully taken over the body, the mind of Miss Jessica Tarlov. So I'm going to get straight into it and I'll say my thoughts. Make sure you hit that like button, also with that subscribe button. Before we get into it, guys, hit that like button, also with that subscribe button for you. But without further ado, let's jump straight in it, guys.
I've read a few things today that President Biden, who will speak very late tonight, it's going to be 10:50 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. He apparently is not going to spend a lot of time on his legacy. He apparently wants to look to the future, and he will give a full endorsement to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that is the expectation. And I do think that what Senator Klobuchar was saying is absolutely correct. You will see tears. You did see tears even when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did their first joint rally together since he passed the torch to her last week. And the crowd spontaneously started chanting, "Thank you, Joe," especially as they were discussing.
I love how now the left wing and a lot of these journalists on the left are trying to paint this picture to say that Joe Biden just willingly just pass the torch over, pass the baton to Miss Kamala. I don't think that's how that went. They ripped that torch out of Joe Biden's hand. You know, he was fighting, clawing, screaming to try to stay in that spot. I remember he tweeted last month saying that he is the sitting president and is the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, and it will remain that way. And then right after that tweet, he got pulled from the spot, guys. So they can't keep trying to push this narrative to say that Joe Biden, he passed the torch over, he didn't fully endorse him as Kamala Harris. No, that's not how this went. And who's even more upset about this? His wife, who's been in control of it all, Miss Jill Biden. I promise, guys, behind the scenes, she is seething, guys.
Last week, and the crowd spontaneously started chanting, "Thank you, Joe," especially as they were discussing lowering prescription drug prices, which are one of the marquee achievements for the Biden-Harris administration. I think it's really great that he will be focused on the future. I'm sure that lamenting too much about the past might be too sad for him, since we all know that he did want to be there tonight as at the top of the ticket. But I think that he is excited by the prospect of continuing his legacy through Kamala Harris. He did pick her as his VP for a reason, and
he picked her as his VP, as a DEI, guys. This was the way to just solidify his spot, his ticket to the White House. Having a black woman VP, you can't say no to that. And that's what Joe Biden knew. So that's why she was on the ticket. It wasn't because he knew that she was going to carry on his legacy. And if anything, she's driving this bus further away from his legacy. She's trying to distance herself as far away from Joe Biden, his policies, his administration as possible. She doesn't want to have anything to do with Joe. So Jessica Tarlov saying right here is flat out a lie. Listen to her.
His legacy through Kamala Harris. He did pick her as his VP for a reason, and I think it's going to be a really nice unifying evening for Democrats.
Greg, it was not too long ago that there were Democratic donors even wondering if Biden and Harris should be the ticket at all. But they have apparently come out in full force, and even after her economic speech got pretty widely panned, including by some left-wing economists, excuse me. They still, I guess right now tonight, they're just going to say, we are all on board that train.
Well, it doesn't matter who the person is. It's the machine. They just slotted out the old guy and put in the second wife. That's how it works. So far, I've heard passing the torch 4 or 5 times just in this show all day. I've heard passing the torch. Not the best analogy when you're dealing with a party that let multiple cities burn to the ground. Do you think maybe we should use something else, like maybe pass the baton? Because, or maybe it is the right one, because this is the party that nearly burned this country to the ground, at least economically, for example. Joe Biden, the only thing he passed was gas. Might be a good thing he let that torch go. You had to wrestle this job away from him like it was car keys from a drunk. And I don't think he's the one that's resentful. It's Dr. Jill. Let's be honest.
Greg Gutfeld, he gets me, guys. Jill Biden, Nancy Pelosi, those are the folks who were upset the most that Joe Biden wasn't able to follow through. He couldn't fool the people once more. That's who's upset they don't get to do it anymore.
I think he's the one that's resentful. It's Dr. Jill. Let's be honest. His life isn't going to change that much. You can tell him he's president. He won't know any better. Paint his house white. He'll be fine in Wilmington. But she's not getting another 4 years, right? No more Hamptons galas, no more expensive designer dresses, no more glowing profiles in glossy magazines. She doesn't want to go to Delaware and have to shop at Wilmington outlets. All they have is Anne Klein, Dana. Anne Klein. She's too important for Anne Klein.
I'm going to pass the pipe to.
Do that in honor of Hunter.
There you go.
Pass
I'm
the
passing
pipe.
the pipe to
No.
Jesse Waters right here.
I'll hit that, Dana.
Okay, there you go.
She's too silly.
So they force Joe off the ticket, and then they give him Monday night. Monday night is the worst speaking slot. And then they keep him as far away from Kamala Harris as possible because the guy is so toxic. And then he flies to California to go on vacation after his speech. So if this guy actually
This guy, Joe, single-handedly takes more vacation than I think I've ever taken in my life. In 1 year, guys, this dude, Joe, is always either at the beach, on vacation. He is never behind the job. You know, he's never in his office, sitting in his seat, behind the desk. Like, where is this guy, Joe Biden, ever doing, presidential stuff? Who is running the country right now? Hunter? Who is sitting at his desk right now when he's on vacation? Every single time he does one thing and he goes on vacation. He barely even spoke for 5 minutes, guys. Like, what?
to California to go on vacation after his speech. So if this guy actually decided himself that he was leaving, then he wouldn't be doing this. He would be basking in Chicago all 4 days. He would be here holding court. He would be here in Chicago doing fundraisers for Kamala Harris. But none of that is true. And that's why you can't believe anything the Democrats tell you. Everything is a lie. There is no joy here. The only joy is that Joe's gone. That's it. His legacy is horrible. Everybody caught COVID and he caught a coup. And then there was a land war in Europe and inflation and an invasion. So this ridiculous flattery is so insulting to the American people that this guy should be on Mount Rushmore. It's created this huge credibility gap now in the Democrats. Like, no one believes in Kamala Harris 9.0. No one believes the economy's good. No one believes these polls are real. You're saying, oh, kumbaya, everybody loves each other. Jessica's talking about unity. The Obamas hate Biden. Biden hates the Obamas. He hates Pelosi.
Oh, guys, now that is a good point to bring up. The unity that Jessica Tarlov talks about. Jesse Waters clearly combating what Jessica Tarlov is talking about here. I mean, you would think Joe Biden would be, buddy-buddy with former president. He was sitting VP. But I don't know. That relationship does seem to be a little bit tainted. Obama was more so, I feel like, the point man for this whole administration, driving the bus for his old pal Joe. Then Nancy Pelosi is just greedy, guys. She wants it all. You guys know this.
Biden hates the Obamas. He hates Pelosi. The Clintons hate everybody. 10,000 people are out in the street, the Democrats saying Kamala's a killer. And then all weekend, the press called Kamala an economic moron for price controls. This is not, as Biden would say, it's malarkey.
Judge Janine, I've thought of you a lot in the past couple of days because I know you spent a lot of time here in Chicago. It is a great city, and believe it or not, we have hit some great weather, some sunny skies and breeze, no humidity. But there is a little bit of tension, and I could see it today in some of the Democrats who are starting to realize when she starts talking about the economy, the number one issue that voters are going to decide on, even the left-wing media says not so fast. That's a gimmick.
Well, it is a gimmick, and I think everyone agrees that even her speech that she gave, was it on Friday, about how she was going to stop the price gouging, and she is somewhat kind of now trying to tailor it into, I want to stop the monopolies, what I really want to do. But I have to talk about this convention. I mean, the fact is that this passed the torch. I mean, it's such an appropriate title for what they did to Joe Biden. They literally torched the guy behind the scenes and said, we're for the people, when this is the guy who got 14 million votes, all of the delegates. Kamala got none in 2019 or 2020, and she got none this time, and all of a sudden she's the hero for the Democrat Party. And I agree with Jesse. I think everybody hates everybody else. And if this were the party of unity, Joe Biden would be staying there. I mean, look at the other Democrat presidents. You've got Bill Clinton, you've got Barack Obama, but Joe's mad at Barack because you wouldn't tell him to his face he has to go. And then the whole idea that these people are actually in agreement. Kamala has Joe Biden, the first speaker, or the speaker on the first night, and she's on the last night. This is such a
Guys, that right there, the point is, Judge Janine is bringing up right here, that gap. There is a huge gap. She got Joe slotted on Monday night. She is on the last night. So you will never be able to associate what happened with Joe with what happened to Kamala Harris. They've been trying to do this entire time. They're trying to put a big wedge, a gap, a separation between Joe Biden, his policies administration, and Kamala Harris, her policy administration. But we still have not got any new policies or what Ms. Kamala Harris actually stands for. Just a bunch of malarkey baloney she's feed to the people. Judge Janine is going to break it down.
Or the speaker on the first night, and she's on the last night. This is such a metaphor, the separation, for how she's trying to separate herself from him and his policies. She wants nothing to do with him. If they were joined together, they would have joint fundraisers. They would have joint interviews. There would be a show of unity, but there's not. And this is all about, they say it's for the people. It's for everyone but the people. It's for the party. It's, if they were for the people, it would be for people killed by the illegals that Kamala let into the country. It would be for people who can't afford to buy a house, that now she wants to bankrupt the country and put us in another 2008 economic drama that happened when we gave houses to people who couldn't afford it. And, you know, it should be for the people who live, 2/3 of them, paycheck to paycheck in this country. It's not about the people. It's not about passing the torch. And the lies, the best one was Chris Coons this afternoon, who said, you know what? Joe Biden did the right thing. He reevaluated his debate performance. And he said that, you know, he didn't want to constantly be asked by the media about the debate. Baloney. The guy hasn't spoken to the media. I mean, they have lied. They're disingenuous, and they're gaslighting all of us. And let them go on with this, because it's smoke and mirrors, but the American people see something different.
I suppose that Kamala Harris is lucky that when they named the Biden economic policies, they didn't say Biden-Harris-nomics, and they left it at Bidenomics.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Judge Janine, Fox News The Five, absolutely going in on Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and really just the separation or the picture they're trying to paint on Kamala Harris. They're trying to just put Joe over in the closet. They're trying to shove him far away. Say, hey, Joe, go on another vacation. Stay away from the DNC. Stay away from Kamala Harris so we could try to run her as this new perfect candidate. And I think that honeymoon phase is starting to wear off as people are starting to wake up. They're able to see the lies, the gaslight, and the tactics of the left. What they used, you know, the same tactics they used for Joe Biden. His advisors whispered in his ear and said, hey, this will get you elected. They're doing the same thing. Got to remember, Kamala Harris shares some of Biden's advisors. They're whispering those same tactics in their ears saying, hey, just keep on telling the people what they want to hear. And when you get in office, you could do something completely different. But no, the American folks are waking up, especially those on the left, you know, starting to see. And that's why we're seeing so many folks jump in ship, crossing the aisle. I've been playing numerous clips, interviews. We're seeing folks that say, hey, I support Donald Trump and I came from the left. I just cannot get behind what they're doing. The Democratic Party is a bunch of liars, a bunch of gaslighters. They try to paint this perfect picture, but it's not actually what it is. Like Judge Janine said, this is all smoke and mirrors. We can continue to let them lie and try to gaslight their way into office, but it's not going to work. When the day comes, November 5th, we're going to see that they've been lying in the polls. They've been lying in their media. The lamestream media is the same exact media who's going to hand this race over to Donald Trump because they can't quit lying about where Kamala Harris is actually at right now. Guys, hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Kamala Harris and all these celebrity endorsement, free concerts, free food is going to keep her up in the polls, or you think people are going to wake up to the honeymoon phase of Kamala Harris and who she truly is, the nothingness of policy that she stands for? Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy more content like this. Catch you guys on the next week. Go.